Hello guys, welcome to another Reddit Stories video. If you want to go ahead and submit your stories, please submit it down below or on the Instagram or Discord. I would love to read your stories. It doesn't even have to be for the YouTube videos, but I just love to read them. You know? Other than that, let's get straight into it, right? So today's video was submitted by Joel. He just bought a house, right? And in his area, there are a lot of HOAs, right? Most houses are in HOAs, actually, right? You can't really buy a house that's not in one, according to him at least. I don't know, right? And so, he lives in this city where there's basically only HOAs. And so he had to go ahead and buy this house. And he wants to live there because that's where his job is and his family, So he went ahead, he bought this house, even though it has this HOA, right? And so he went ahead, he moved in, everything seemed alright when he was first touring the neighborhood. So he thought, okay, this is gonna be just fine, right? It's fairly normal, right, to go ahead and tour the neighborhood. No one came up to him or anything, so it should be alright. That kind of thing. And so he moved in, right? And it was a kind of expensive place, right? Relative to where I am, It seems expensive, but, it's a nice house, right? And so he moved in, and then he started introducing himself to the neighborhood. And so when he went around, he eventually came up to this lady's house. And it wasn't like the nicest house in the neighborhood, but it wasn't bad either, right? So in that, he went ahead and found her, right? And he went up and talked to her for a little bit, and she said, hey, I'm the HOA president, right? I'm doing things around here. I'm in charge, so what I say goes, right? I say, I'm happy to see you here, but you gotta go ahead and fix up that driveway. And I'm allowed to park there whenever I want, right? And she's right across the road from him. But it's like, well, I got a car, my wife's got a car, we sometimes have guests over, they got cars, right? And so it's like, that's probably not gonna work for us, because sure, they can go ahead and fit both their cars in their garage, but what if they want to go ahead and store something in the garage, right? What if they want to go ahead and have a guest over? They don't have enough room for that third spot, right? They don't got that. And so they went ahead and said, well, no, that's not going to work for us. And so they said, okay, well, we see you here, and that sounds great and all, but no thanks. You're not allowed to park in our driveway. And, right, this is their first conversation, right? It's not like they've talked forever or, anything like that. It's literally conversation one. She's trying to go ahead and take over their driveway, which is kind of insane, now that you think about it, right? Without really saying hi, like, here's some cookies, welcome to the neighborhood, chill out, like, here's the hours for the pool kind of thing. It's like, nah, I'm using your driveway no matter what, right? And so that's like a little much now that you think about it, but she didn't really care. And so she went ahead and said, no, I'm using the driveway, it's part of the rules, right? I'm allowed to use your driveway. It's like, I don't know. Does it mean that we can use your driveway? And she said, no. It says the HOA president gets to go ahead and park wherever they want. It's like, what? Right. And they eventually find out it's because she's trying to cause all this kerfuffle because she has 3 kids that all have their own cars. And she has a husband with their car, And so it's like, oh, shoot, you got 5 cars. Right? And she has a 3-car garage, but 1 car can fit in the driveway. So she has 1 car, and so it's like, okay, right? Still, doesn't make sense to go ahead and do that. But like, that's the case, right? She's got all this stuff. And so she went ahead, said, well, I'm gonna park where I want, kind of thing. And so she said, well, too bad I'm parking in your driveway if I want to park in your driveway. Right? And so they went ahead and looked at the rule book and it said, yeah, she can park wherever she wants. She's the leader. And so it's like, oh, now I see why she wants to be president so bad. And so they're like, okay, well, you know, it's fine if you want to park in our driveway, I guess. Right? But could you at least be able to be willing to move the car if we have a guest over? Right? Park in the street for a little bit, because it's street parking's allowed where they're at. She's like, no. I mean, I guess I would, but like, it's not my full responsibility. I need to be notified beforehand and after. I need to go ahead and be able to have at least a 2-day warning to go ahead and do this, right? You have to come to me on my time period, that kind of thing. Right? It's like, what? And so they're like, okay, whatever. We're not gonna cause a big fit about it. Right? We want her to be chill. So they decided, okay, we're just gonna put up with it. I think that's kind of the wrong way to go about it, because like, come to the agreement beforehand, like, hey, we'll go ahead, we'll give you a warning, but it's gonna be like a 2-hour warning, like, hey, we're gonna have a guest come over in 2 hours, kind of thing. I think that's the best way to probably handle it, but they didn't do that. You know, to each their own, but like, I prefer, like, you're already having this discussion right now, let's get it all over with. But, like, some people don't want to do that. But she went ahead and they just said, okay, whatever, we're gonna deal with it for a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, we can put up with it, right? But it's like, okay, it still kind of sucks if she wants to do this. But they've been here for a while, and about 2 months later, they have a guest come over. It's one of their first guests that come over, and they're like, hey, we're gonna have a guest come over here in a few hours, could you please move your car? And they're like, no thanks. Right, we don't want to move our car. Right, we don't have a spot for it. They can just park on the street themselves, and they're like, fine, whatever. But you would think, if you're the lady telling them to go ahead and tell their guests to park in the street, and you're the HOA president, so you're fully in charge of finding people, and you get a benefit from parking in this lady's driveway, right? You wouldn't fine them, right? But she decides to send them over a fine. And so the fine was for the friend being over for over 2 hours, right? If there's someone parking in the street for over 2 hours, they have to move their car, and so they get a fine for having the car parked outside of their place for over 2 hours. And so they were like, oh, that's so dumb, right? And so it's not the owner of the car that gets fined either, it's just them. And so they realized, well, wait, if that's the case, what we could do, we don't like her, she's annoying, we'll just go ahead, buy a junk car, and park it outside of her house. Right. She wants to go ahead and do this, we'll just do that. So they went on Facebook and they're like, they find the cheapest car they possibly could, and they brought it by and they just parked it outside of their house. It doesn't even run, has nothing going for it. It was complete garbage. And they got it for $100. They just picked it up and dropped it outside of her house. And they started recording. And so whenever the next HOA meeting came up, and they're like, okay, hey, this has been outside of your house for the last 12 days straight. Hasn't moved. Hasn't done anything. And they're like, okay, right. Either you're being corrupt, or you have to find yourself. Right? And so she, of course, doesn't want to fine herself, because it's a fine per day for breaking this rule, and it's like a $200 fine. So she has to pay $2,500 for that. And it's not her car. She's like, oh, it's not my car. And they're like, well, you fined us for this. And so which one do you want? You want to get rid of our fine? What do you want to do that? And everyone in the neighborhood's like, yeah, well, you fined us before for similar things. Like, you want to be fair, right? And so she has to go ahead and pay the 12 fines. And so she's not happy, and she's like, well, I'm gonna get back at you guys. Right, and so they keep on just, like, angrily looking at each other over the next few weeks. And she got that junk car towed, so she no longer has to pay that fine, but it's still like, okay, every time they see her, they're mean mugging each other. It's not very fun, not a pleasant way to live kind of thing, but it's the situation that's going on. And so it eventually became just like a back and forth situation where this lady would go ahead and do something. So she would go ahead and give them a dumb fine for some reason, like, oh, you know, the color of your house siding started to fade, but it was like very little fading. Well, okay, you got to go ahead and fix it, right, immediately, or else you're gonna have a fine every single day. And so they're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to go and fix that. But it was like 24/7 of her doing this. So they're like, okay, wow, right, you're just giving us constant little fines. And so they end up talking to the HOA management group because they get fines all the time. They tell them, like, hey, you know, this lady, she's purposely going ahead and maliciously finding us out of that. And so they start to do an investigation. They realize, yeah, they're probably telling the truth. Like, that's a lot of fines for no reason. She's probably doing it on purpose. Like, it's definitely a problem. They look into her and they're like, yeah, you know, we can see that, but. And then they went ahead and just like continued to just look into her, and they find out, yeah, she's definitely abusing her power. And so they immediately remove her, right? And so it has an emergency meeting, and in the meeting it was like, either you choose a new president or you can choose to disband the HOA altogether. And so they choose, okay, well, we're gonna go and remove the HOA. And so over 50% of the people said that they want to remove the HOA. They removed the HOA because no one really wanted to step up to be president other than this one lady. She can't be it. And so they decided, okay, there's no more HOA. There's no more HOA presidents. But you know what? This lady, she can't park in our driveway anymore, right? What happened to that? Now that she can't park in our driveway, she ended up going ahead and having to make her son park on the street. And right, there is a problem with parking on the street, right? They had people kept on hitting their car, right? You know, it was a big deal. And so, you know, that HOA perk was necessary. So if, you know, you just played nice, you probably could have went ahead and continued parking in their parking lot spot and they wouldn't have cared. But she went ahead and pushed a little bit, and now she doesn't get to go ahead and use that perk. But, yeah. A little sad that she did that, right? You know, for her, because the son's now losing a nice car. It got hit a few times. So, like, I mean, that sucks for him. But, you know, make sure your mom doesn't, like, be crazy, I guess, is, like, the moral of the story. But, other than that, I'm gonna go, guys. Hope you guys liked this story. If you did, please like and subscribe if you want to hear more. If you want to submit your story down below, I'd love to read it. Doesn't even have to be for the channel. I just like reading them, right? You know. but I love the support that you guys have been given. Other than that, I'm gonna go. If you guys want to see a different video game playing in the background, I'd love to know which ones. Right, what are your favorite video games, that kind of thing. But on that, I'm gonna go, you guys. You have a wonderful day. Goodbye.